This song comes with a printed beat, and we'll solo this up and play a little bit for you. Now I haven't added anything to this. Now that's a really cool sound. I mean, that's straight up Motown. I really like that, and I think it works really well through the intro and into the verse. But if you listen to that kick drum, that's a sample. Or it's a combination of things. There's some real kicks, there's some samples, I don't really know what. But I started up by putting a UAD Neve 1073 emulation on there. And I mostly just added some low end. I think I might have messed around with some high frequency, but I didn't really feel like it needed it. So 60 hertz, I dialed in a fair amount of gain. To me, that felt real nice. Kind of fattened it up a bit. But the thing that was really important was adding this kick drum, which is I've labeled new kick. Go over to this page and we'll solo this up. So that's a kick drum that I generated using Drumagog. That's a kick drum of my own. Actually, I think it's a band from Canada. I have a collection of kick drums and snare drums and toms and crash cymbals that go back to 1998, I guess. Like at this point, hundreds of kick drums, maybe thousands of snare drums. And I tend to try to use my own recordings. And the reason for that is it maybe helps set me apart from other mixers, other producers. And I tend to like the stuff that I record. So, some of these bands and I have spent a lot of time crafting some pretty cool kick drum sounds. And I'm also extremely familiar with them. So when I was listening to this beat, it's got a great old school feel. I didn't think I wanted to add more old school to it. I wanted something that would complement it, maybe drive it and pull it into a more modern direction without distracting. So if you solo up the new kick drum and the original beat, you might be able to hear the difference. Here's without it. Here's with it. Here's the kick drum just by itself. It's a pretty modern sounding kick drum. Sounds like a 20-inch kick drum, probably. 22 would have a little more low end. I'm showing you how I created this kick drum. And we've got Drumagog opened here, Drumagog 5. It's a great program. I don't know a whole lot of people that use it, but I sure do. I make great use of it. I don't, again, I mostly use my own samples. Their provided ones are great, and you can use third-party stuff. That's all fantastic. But I tend to use the sounds that I've created. If it's a record that I'm producing start to finish, I'll do individual hits with the drummer at the end of each song. And in mixdown, I oftentimes will blend in the very same kick drum, snare drum, just underneath the snare drum from that actual song session. And again, it helps me to maintain a unique sound to that song, for that band, for that project. I think it's, it helps to keep things sonically fingerprinted. It's got a date, it's got a stamp, a sonic created on date, and I like to maintain that. For mix sessions, again, I like to use my own samples because I'm familiar with them and I can dial them up fast. And I think that's part of what people are paying me for is I do my thing. My thing is to use my own samples. So we've got this track with Drumagog. Here is bypassed. And then I have the kick drum running here. You could do a blend, I suppose. You can sort of hear This is the track blending in the kick drum. I run it at 100% sample because what I'm going to be doing in the end is mixing that printed track of the new kick drum in underneath to accentuate, to help out this printed beat. Let's see which guy this is. This is a song called Habit. That's where the kick drum originally came from. Habit Kick 1. And that's a band called Stabilo, which is a Canadian band. I think they're from Toronto. Maybe 10 years ago, this kick drum was born. And it works great. I probably scrolled through maybe 20, 30 different kick drum sounds. Different kick drum sound. The great thing about Drumagog is you can just double click on them. These are all in folders that are on my hard drive, and you can assign them, and you can tell Drumagog to go to any folder on any of your hard drives in your laptop or on your tower. We've got so many here. So that's my kick drum. And then in Pro Tools 12, I'm a big fan of using the offline commit. You right-click, control-click on your highlighted track, select commit, my edit selection, which is the highlighted section here, and we will render that. I'm not going to do that actually because I've done it already, but that's how I commit to that track. It's great. Back in the old days, you'd have to set up an aux, feed to that aux, treat it like an actual recorded kick drum, and the song would have to play all the way down, and you have to wait 4 minutes and 20 seconds or however long the song was. This happens in a matter of seconds. So that's offline commit. Big fan of that. Thank you, Avid. Finally. So that's my kick drum. Another thing that I like to do, or kind of have to do afterwards, is go to my new kick drum. I labeled it new kick. Solo it up. I know you won't want to hear this, but you got to do it. Yes, indeed. You tab to transient. I have to look at every single kick drum. In blue above it is the beat that we generated the kick drum from. I'll play a little bit of that. Here's the new kick drum. Now, these guys are lining up. You can see, kind of frame accurate. See how that works? That's really nice. That's what I like to see. I'm looking at these two guys, blue and green. Blue being the original, right? Green is my new kick drum. I will literally scroll through, tab to transient, and look at every single kick drum. This is after I've had Drumagog or any other program you want to use. And I am looking for near frame accuracy. And I'm not going to make you guys sit through this, but I'll slide and adjust these. It takes about maybe 10 minutes per song.